Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory Grades. There are lots of resources available to help you if you visit my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download these in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials and you can find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam days. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be fab, and please do subscribe and share the videos. And now we're going to make a start on the theory paper B from 2018 grade 4 practice papers. So if you turn with me to page 10 and then we can make a start on that. So these first questions will all be referring back to this little melody here. And as I always say, always work in pencil, and then it doesn't matter if you go wrong, you can just rub it out and have another go. And do have a go of this on your own first of all. It doesn't matter if you go wrong, it's always better to learn by your mistakes. And now we'll check through the answers together. So we're asked to look at this melody and to answer the questions below. So the first questions are some performance directions and we've got some multiple choice options here. So tempo giusto means in strict time, and a good way of revising that, if you think giusto, or however you pronounce it, actually means something like quite right. And so I remember this as just so, tempo just so. That's sort of how my abstract brain works, and then I know that the timing's in strict time, just right. So that's that one. So senza ral. Now we know from grade 1 that rallentando is gradually getting slower. Gave it away there. And senza means without, so without getting slower. That's the option we're after. So now we're asked to name the ornament in bar 3. So let's look at bar 3. And we have this ornament here. Now notice there's a little line through this, and so that tells us that this is an acciaccatura. Bit of a mouthful there, double C, double C. That's the classical term. Alternatively, you can call it a crushed note, which makes sense because that little line means that we sort of squish the note in, unlike the appoggiatura where we just share it between the two values. Alternatively as well, you could just refer to it as a grace note. So any of those will do. Now then, we're asked to rewrite bar 4, but we need to put it into simple time without changing the rhythmic effect. So we've got to put in a new time signature and we've got to go to simple time. So let's see what we're in to begin with. So our time signature is 6/8. Now that is duple compound time. So we have 2 beats per bar and each beat is a group of 3 quaver beats. That's how we know it's compound. So it's 2 dotted crotchet beats per bar. You can see that here in bar 1 quite obviously. And so we need to rewrite bar 4 here, and we've got to make this fit into simple time. So we're going from a group of 3 to a group of 2. So we need to make sure we're still in duple time, but now we're in simple time, which divides into groups of 2. And so the way we would do that is we remove the dot, and that gives us 2 quarter notes, 2 crotchet beats per bar. And then the way we get from a group of 3 to a group of 2 is we remove the dots, or we group things with a triplet. So let's just get the note heads in place and all the other bits and bobs. I suppose we can do the stems as well, they aren't going to change. So I'm just getting all the blobs in the right place just yet. Now this needs to be sharpened. So I can do the stems. So at the moment this is still in groups of 3. This is in compound time, and so we can see there's definitely a group of 3 there. So that would be squished together 3 in the time of 2 with a triplet. And we can see here this is 1, 2, 3 quaver beats, so that also will be squished together using a triplet 3 in the time of 2, and that does the job for us. So it's as simple as that. We're just squishing 3 into the time of 2. I'm sure squishing is not the technical term, but there we go. So now then, how many semiquavers or 16th notes are the tied notes in bar 2 worth? So let's see. We're looking at this lot here. So then, we need to know how many semiquavers or 16th notes. Now, a quaver tied to a dotted crotchet, or an 8th note tied to a dotted quarter note, that's what we've got here. So I'm just going to diagram that out here where we've got a little bit of space. So we have a quaver tied to a dotted crotchet. Now that's grouped so that it's in compound time, but we're not worrying about grouping now. We're looking at the total value, which is the same as a minim or a half note. And so just to save space, I'm going to break down my diagram starting with a crotchet. So a crotchet or a quarter note divides into 2 quavers, 2 8th notes, which divides into 4 semiquavers or 16th notes. So that's a crotchet's worth. We need twice that many to make it a minim's worth, which is what this adds up to. So 4 times 2 is 8, and that gives us how many semiquavers or how many 16th notes there are in this group here. So there we go, 8. Now then, we're asked to give the letter name of the lowest note in the melody. So let's have a look what we've got going on here. So don't forget we're in the treble clef, so we need to be careful we're reading in the correct clef. And then also we've got a key signature of F sharps and C sharps, so just watch out in case that needs applying. So let's just scan through. Okay, until the very last note, so don't miss that last note, that's the lowest one. And if we think this is middle C, B, A. So A is our lowest note and the key signature doesn't apply. So there we go, A, job done. Now then, the last one we are asked to write as a breve or a double whole note an enharmonic equivalent of the first note of the melody. So the note that we've got at the beginning is a D, every good boy deserves. It's not the D above middle C, it's an octave above that, so just be careful we get the correct octave. And if we just look at a piano keyboard, even if you don't play piano, it's a really helpful way of just visualising these intervals. So we have a D, which could be the same as C double sharp, or we could alternatively call it E double flat. So either one of those will do. So let's make sure we position that correctly on the stave. So it's not this D here, it's this D here. So the C just below that is there as a breve or a double whole note, and then it would be a double sharp, so X marks the spot. Alternatively, we could call it the E above that, E double flat. Either one of those will answer the question nicely. I hope this is helping you with your studies. I hope that you're enjoying working through this theory. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. If you can give me a like, that would be really fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated, and please do share out the videos. Please also do visit sharonbill.com and have a browse around all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.